Hello, in this video I will show you a way how to improve your chatbot knowledge base. We are going to use Voiceflow, n8n, and Google Sheet to store this data. So basically this video is about how to add an AI classifications to determine if the user's questions has been answered accurately from the knowledge base or not. And also it will find the questions that it hasn't been answered at all. And then it will add this data to Google Sheet here. It will add the questions and the answered questions and the conversational history as well. So later on, if we are tracking this data and once a week we can look at what the questions that hasn't been answered or what the questions that has been answered but it's not accurate, then we can take a look at that and filter it and add it back to the knowledge base to improve our knowledge base. So for the futures questions from the users, we will be able to answer them correctly, or we will be able to answer them by adding these questions to the knowledge base. So this workflow basically start inside Voiceflow. Voiceflow make you build chatbots and be able to add advanced, like a webhook call to any automations tool to store the data or get the data. So in our case, we using n8n with a webhook and Google Sheets, and very simple. Google webhook, it basically just capturing the data from the Voiceflow, and this data will be the questions and unanswered questions and also the conversation history. So let me show you an example here. For example, I have a knowledge base already inside Voiceflow, and I want to ask questions like how can I track the data? So this questions is already answered here. So we're not expecting anything to happen because this questions it is already answers, but if the AI answers this questions wrong, then we will take the answers from the AI and we're going to store it in the Google Sheets. And it's really hard to simulate this because this is something happen in productions where there's a lot of users asking these questions, and we have the AI to determine if the questions has been answered accurately or not. In this case, this questions has been answered correctly. I know this because it's a conditional match taking best one, which is the value, the true value here. I will show you this in details. I just want to show you what's going to happen. So I'm going to ask a question that is not inside the knowledge base, and we'll see what's happened. So I said, who is Elon Musk, for example, and I don't have any information inside the knowledge base about Elon Musk. So if I ask this question, you will see that say, sorry, I can't help you with that, and it add these questions inside the Google Sheets. So later on, I can look at the not founds column, like all the not found filter by not found, and be able to take each one of them, understand the conversation history, and also adding this to the knowledge base to improve the quality of the knowledge base. Okay, let's get started. I'll show you how we do this. Okay, so first there is like simple workflow here where we just welcome to support team, how can I help you? And then after we storing the user's questions and we storing it to a variable called lost users. This is a predefined variables inside Voiceflow that already take the user questions and store it inside this variable. So see capturing entire user reply. Okay, so after we capturing the user questions, we need to take these questions and we will need to search inside the knowledge base to find an answer to these questions. So if we find the questions, we will answer it. If it's not, then we're going to display a message saying, sorry, I can't help you with that. So to do that, we basically just choose the response AI here, and we added a knowledge base data source. So it will grab the source from the knowledge base that we added inside Voiceflow. And then we're going to enter the user question as a variable. So we said before we saving this reply or the user questions to a variable called last users. So we just going to add this variable here as a questions. So it will take this and store it here inside the questions, and we'll search inside the knowledge base to find the answers. We can add instructions, and like we can also choose our models that need to process this information. I'm not going to go through this for now, but this is the node for searching the knowledge base. If the answers has been found, it's going to respond back to the user with the answers. If it's not, it will say, I'm sorry, I can't help you with that. So far it's just normal voice flow, like chatbots, users, questions, AI response. But what we added here is a conditional block, and this conditional block is really the main source of the classifications of what's happening here, right? So the user asks questions, the AI give a response. We need an AI to take all these informations and will determine if this answers from the AI is really make sense and accurate or not. So if it's accurate, it's going to output true, or if it's not accurate, it's going to output false. And based on this output, we can route our next flow. Okay, so let's first see that conditional block. If you want to add the block, you just go to the logic and then add a condition block. And this condition block, there is business logic and prompt. In our case, I use the prompt and I give it instructions to basically what's output true or false um, based on the evaluations of the user's questions and the AI response. Just going to delete it. I will show you what I did here. So I choose a prompt, and then I added a new prompt. I created a prompt, and then it's opened to this window. It has a system, which is a system prompt. You prompt the AI. Your task to analyze the user questions, AI response to determine if the question was answered correctly and make sense. We say it responds only with true or false and no additions text. So just either true or false. We're going to return true if the AI response accurately answers the user questions, and return false if the AI response doesn't answer the questions, and the question should be added to the knowledge base for the futures. Let me delete this. We don't really need this. We just need to return false if the AI response doesn't answer the question. So we added a conversation history, and this is something already inside the voice flow. So we can just click add and then add a conversation history. So it's going to add it. The conversation history, it's defined, it has already its own variable, and it's called VF underscore memory. Okay, so now what we need to add, we need to add the user questions that we captures. We stored it in last underscore utterance. So we just add it here. We tell the AI that the user question is here, and the agents is what the AI responds. And we add like last response. This is also predefined in Voiceflow. So now AI will get these instructions and will take the user questions and the AI response, and it will tell you true or false. So if it say true, this means that this questions is answered successfully. Then we don't really need to do anything because it seems like it's been doing well. So it's just going to loop back. As you see, we will looping back to capture the user's questions again and responds and keep going the same flow. But what we need to do here is else route, because we say it's either true or false, like output true or false. So if it's output true, we're going to go this route. If it's false, it's mean like else, like anything else other than true. Then we are going to go another route, and this route is where it's going to capture the user's questions and the AI response. And these questions and the response, this is what it seems there's a problem with it, because AI say oh, this answer to this questions seems like it's not really accurate or something wrong with it, right? So we need to flag this and add it to our Google Sheet. So we added endpoint API. We're making a post request to an endpoint, and the endpoint is the webhook inside n8n. So basically, we just added a webhook. You just click on the add button and add a webhook, and and then you just choose the production URL, and you copy this URL, and then the HTTP message is need to be post, right? So that's all for the webhook. You just grab the URL, change the HTTP message to post, and we need to paste this URL inside Voiceflow. So we going back to Voiceflow. As you see here, we need to change also the HTTP message to post because we are sending this data to this webhook URL. So what we need to send exactly is the user questions, the AI response, and also the conversation history. Because the conversation history, we need to understand what was a previous message or communication with these users to understand which point this AI couldn't be able to answer it. So it's very helpful to look at the all overflow. To do that inside the body, we need to add this three variable. So we just click three time and add the key and value. So in the key, we'll just add the question. For the value, we storing the question before in a variable called last uterance, right? So just adding this value. And the same thing in the answers, it's stored in a variable called last response. And this is all defined inside Voiceflow. So we don't need to create any variables for it. So that's for the question and answer. And for the conversation history, also, this is defined inside Voiceflow. And as we see before in the prompt, it's VF underscore memory. So this is all that what we need to do. I already have this block. I'm just showing you how to create it. But after the AI output false, it will take the else route. It's going to go to this node, was going to make an API request with a post method, and it's going to pass all this informations to the webhook here. The webhook will receive this informations. It will execute this next node Google Sheet, which adding a row to this Google Sheet. So it will take the questions and answers and the conversation history. This is something from before, so I'm just gonna delete. Yeah, so this is for the part where the AI was evaluating the user question and answer and determined if the answers to the question is not making sense or something is not right. I have another endpoint, it's the same webhook, but basically it's if in the beginning of the chat here, if the user asks question and this question is not found in the knowledge base at all, so it will go to not found route. As you see here, not found bass is already there. So not found bass, it will just display a message to the user, say, sorry, I can't help you with that. And it will also send a request, post request to the same endpoint, but in this one, I just change the answers instead of taking the last response from the previous node. It's just going to add a static message, not found. So inside the Google Sheet, we have not found, it will add not found here. So later we can just filters and see all not found questions. And then we look at the questions and see how we can add this to the knowledge base. So that's all. Let me show you how we added the Google Sheets. We just added a sheet here. We search for sheet and Google Sheets. And then we added a bind search for row, and then we append row in the sheet. That's what we added. For the credential, you just need to connect to your Google Sheets, and we also in the resource you click sheet within document, and the operations is append row. For the document, you just click document and choose the Google Sheets. And for the, let me actually do it. So here can click the sheets called unanswered question. And so in the documents called unanswered questions, and for the sheets, it's basically which tab here. We only have one tab, sheet one. And all the headers here will be populated, so we can just drag and drop the data from the previous flow. So what I did here, let me delete this one. What I did here is once we get the data from the webhook, it will be here inside the inputs. So I just dragged the questions, I dragged it here. And for the unanswered questions, I dragged the answers called answers. We define this variable here. In the voice flow, we define it questions, answer, and conversational history. Here as well, conversation history. So every time the AI determine that this question hasn't been answered correctly, it will add this inside the Google Sheets with the conversation history, so we can look at the whole flow. And also, if it's the questions is not found at all, it also will add this to the Google Sheet with not found, so we able to find this and filter it and add it to the knowledge base. I think this is something very important to enhance your knowledge base. We always add goals we creating chatbot, but very important to keep update with our knowledge base and improve the quality of the response that the chatbot give to the users. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please comment below. I'm happy to answer your questions. And also, if you think any other video will be valuable, please let me know. And I'm happy to do that. Thank you so much.